All right, guys, welcome. We are recapping the Traitors, episode 5. Parvati, Phaedra, and Dan, that huge blowout, if you remember.
It was it was tense, but then it resolved, I think.
Yeah. They were, it was basically Phaedra and Parvati going at it, and then Dan's just like sitting back watching. He was wanting that to happen, so.
Oh, yes. Because he said, he said after, in the DR, how can he use these fireworks to his advantage?
Yes, I saw that too. Yep.
But inside, he's like, it's so important that we work together.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Dan is doing his big brother moves, but it's not really working out well for him in the Traitors.
Well, no. I'm a little worried for him.
Yeah, a little bit. But they ended up, like you said, they resolved it pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Phaedra's DR was, we can forgive, we can forget, move on. Exactly. And then Parvati actually gives Phaedra the reins and lets her decide on the murder.
Exactly.
So yeah, she gets Tamra out, and it was between Tamra and Sandra. They were thinking.
Yes.
And I was thinking it would be Sandra, because that would make more sense. She's actually been more vocal. Right. I thought, but what did you think?
No, exactly. And she's like, exactly. She's like leading the charge on certain things.
Yeah. Right? Although I'm not sure if she's doing it in the DR more, if we're seeing her just be vocal in the DR and not in the castle.
Have Dan's back.
Oh yeah.
Right? She's kind of, so I think they kind of see her as an ally right now.
And maybe, it did come down to the fact that Phaedra wanted Tamra murdered, so the scent would come off of her, because why would a housewife murder another housewife,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So and then Parvati called it a peace offering, is what she called it.
Yes.
Any other thoughts about that?
Like many times during that whole thing,
yes. Oh, her
her
squinty face is so
like a duck mouth face.
You know her from the Survivor. Did she do that ever?
I don't remember her acting like that on Survivor. She like took stuff in, and she planned. It's different on Survivor though. Like you can, I don't know. It's just, it's still a reality, like getting allies and all that, but it seems a little different.
Yeah.
I don't remember the face. I think that would have been a thing. Oh, we're gonna see the Parvati face. No, I don't remember it at all.
I know a lot of people are saying on Twitter that she's been doing it forever. I'm like, I only just started watching Heroes versus Villains, and I haven't seen it yet. So
exactly, I don't remember. That's a good one, right?
Yes, it is so good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so we got breakfast.
Well, behind the scenes, there was a little trailer for the challenge during like commercials. Do you know where our boy CT is from?
Yes. Where? Tell me. I forget now. Charlestown. That's right. Oh my gosh.
Oh, of course. That's why we like him so much.
I love him. I love CT. I knew Boston. I did know Boston, but I didn't know.
Yep.
Yeah. I love CT.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Then.
Yes.
We get on the whole Pete train. Pete is like, Pilot Pete is figuring stuff out left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think he was that smart. But no. He is.
Yeah, I know, from The Bachelor, right?
Yeah, I guess The Bachelor doesn't really showcase your intelligence.
I've never seen it, but
Oh yeah, I saw his season. His season with Hannah and his season on The Bachelor.
He is getting them down. So breakfast time, they all walk in, and actually it's CT and Janelle going first,
right?
And Janelle's like, "Oh, I've never been first to breakfast."
Exactly.
And then they're just like, I don't know, they're just kind of talking, kind of chit-chatting, and then it's Pete and John enter next.
Yep.
Pete and John, and Pete starts talking about it being a guy. It's definitely a guy. And they're like, "Oh, maybe it's Kevin or whatever," and he's like, "No, I'm really thinking it's Dan." And my heart is like, ugh.
Exactly.
But he's a smart cookie. That
Pete agreed with him, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think they all were. Oh, Janelle was quiet, but he's figuring Dan out.
Oh, she said when they murdered her, she said it's way worse than Housewives, and I hope it's not a housewife in there.
No, and it
But okay,
was.
so their convo. I have my little convo arrows everywhere.
I love it.
So Pete said, no, John asked, Pete was like, he hasn't expressed who he thinks a traitor is at all, right? And
Yeah.
so John asked Janelle, has Dan expressed who in private to anybody, like to anyone here? And Janelle says no. And then Pete's like, he's a traitor. Right,
Right.
because even done
Okay.
Friday. Yes. So John is he was asking about it. I don't know if he's on the Dan train, but I think he was at that point.
Yeah. So everybody goes in, one at a time. I just want to know, what did you think about the acting? I thought Dan coming in was a little much. I think it's hard. I'm sure it's hard,
It is,
putting,
I
he
can't
didn't
even
really
imagine.
have to lie that bad in Big Brother.
I know, right? But yeah,
Mhm.
his only acting was the funeral, really,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah. Which he conducted himself and, was
I thought
planned.
he and Parvati's, neither of them were very good.
No, and Phaedra was killing me because they're the last ones to walk in, Phaedra and Sandra. And Sandra's like, oh, it's Tamara, because they find out right then and there it's Tamara.
Mhm. Yeah.
Phaedra sits down, she goes, anybody have any boiled eggs? Phaedra, act a little sad. That's another housewife.
Right? That was weird. And then when Alan was talking about her, she was like doing something else, right? When
Oh
he
my
was talking
God.
about you.
She
So,
is too funny. I think she is giving it away, Phaedra, but I don't know if they're noticing it. Like, I
well,
don't know.
I don't think they are because we're kind of jumping ahead, but Pete's little plan, the three he identified as traitors to try to trap them, were CT, Dan, and Parvati. So he's got the two
Right?
out of three. I don't think anyone suspects Phaedra. I
No.
think she's like flying under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody suspects her.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay, so then we have some talks, right? So we have Kevin, CT, and Dan. Kevin said, Janelle has given me weird traitor vibes.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dan says nothing again. But in PR, he says he'll use Janelle to his advantage. Like he'll use people bringing up Janelle to his advantage, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Janelle, Trishelle, and Bergie talking about who do they think it is. And Janelle says one is obvious. And Trishelle says, who, Dan? And she says, yeah. And Bergie just sits there and sees Bergie.
And this is the start of Dan versus Janelle.
Exactly. And then Dan, John, and Janelle. Oh, Dan tells him he's getting close to somebody. It's like, oh my God, just do a name.
Yeah.
Or later on, go to John. I didn't want to say anything because Janelle was in there, but I think it's Janelle. Like, you got to give people something. Why does he keep saying you're not saying anything? And he continues to not say anything. What's he saying?
Nothing. And I forget when this happened, but he's talking about the red, like, I want to pinpoint the red strings and like get it all together. And I'm like, Dan, just anyone. Kevin. Throw Kevin.
Exactly, right? Someone you're not close to, like.
Why? Because you're an actor. They've all said it. Just agree.
Right, exactly. You got to pick somebody. Oh my God.
He's thinking too much like Big Brother. It's been a while. Dan. We love you, but man.
I don't think our
name
really saying anyone either, is she? She's agreeing with people when they say stuff. A little.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just not showing really it.
And Parvati, I think I might have notes. She sometimes says stuff every now and then, but it's like, okay, but they're all picking on Dan. He just makes it so obvious though that he's I'll tell you later. Or wasn't it? Oh no, that's later in the thing when he's like, I'll tell you tomorrow if I'm not murdered. Oh my God, just say it.
Oh my gosh. It's like, Dan is killing me lately. I can't even. So after everybody, we talked about the boiled eggs. So Alan comes in and he announces to everyone, there's going to be a challenge as usual, but they're going to get a special treat. A treat, he said, is coming to the castle. Mm-hmm. That's it. And he leaves it at that. That to me is like, oh, what are we getting? A pizza party? Like,
I know. They no
little do they know.
It's really sweet for us, but.
Yeah. And then I just have the challenge when they get into this challenge. Because you just covered everything right before the challenge, all the talks.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I just want to say this challenge, Janine, I was cracking up.
Oh my God. It was so good. And Alan's cracking up. He can't even keep in character.
Alan was the best part. He was the best part of it.
Them all repeating the sound as they're running around the castle was the part. No, one. I was like, oh my God.
They were, oh my gosh, when they immediately went in and yelled and when they were copying all the birds, I started dying. And then CT is going like this, running outside with his arms.
What's the best?
I'm like, what are you doing, CT? He was definitely playing into the silliness of it all.
And him and Phaedra outside, super cute.
Oh yeah, what's up with Phaedra and CT, huh?
Very cute. Know. Very cute.
She said he's very silly.
Yeah, so they have to get into 2 groups, right?
Yes.
And he tells them the outside group will get a chance at a shield.
Yep, only the outside. And
of course, Janelle is fighting for that spot. So funny. I'm like, oh yeah, so bad. And like, people are like, there are people who are there that have had a shield before. She's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm at risk. I'm getting it every time. She said, every time I'm getting this.
Exactly. Who wanted it? Was it Cherie?
Yeah, Cherie rose her hand. I think MJ was putting up a fight. Trishelle was putting up a fight.
MJ was the one putting up a fight, saying people over there have had a shield before. Give the rest of us a chance, right?
But she went inside. She stayed inside. I thought it was Sandra. Sandra was so funny. She goes, why can't they have a shield for the people inside? You know, the people who don't like to run, me and Phaedra. Like, same girl, same. Although she was running. She was running.
She was. Yeah. Okay, so we got the partners. We have Pete and Janelle, right?
Yes, love them.
Kevin and Sheree. Yeah, they were funny, Pete and Janelle. And then Brady and Trishelle. Yeah. Who I was surprised they got there first. They were, I don't know, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, they went right there.
Yeah. So Pete was like, I want a shield.
Yeah.
Kevin. I love Kevin.
Oh,
When he's like, we're reading the map and realize we both suck at reading maps.
Totally lost.
Oh my God. And the inside was like, hello, where are you guys? Why is it taking so long when they've already 2 clues from Pete and Janelle, right? No. From Trishelle and Bergie.
Yeah, it was them. They had it, yeah.
They had the 2 clues first, right? And they got the shield. Like, hello? And the rest of them were just running around.
Meanwhile, Kevin and Sheree just in the woods over there having a picnic.
Like, I don't think the things were that far.
I know. So confused. I have no idea what happened with them.
What they were doing was ridiculous. That was funny though.
That was good. So it was Bergie and Trishelle that got the shield, but Pete decided to have this master plan because he knew, he's like, no matter if you're a traitor or a faithful, they're going to think me and you, meaning him and Janelle, are going to have the shield. Exactly. So why don't we cover more people and make it seem like we have it, but really the other 2 have it. They don't know who, but it doesn't matter. It's 4 of them covered.
So they won't pick out any of us.
Right. So that was really, really smart.
That was really smart. And then he pushes it even further.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm going to tell the people who I suspect as traitors. And he filled the rest of them in on this. So that was good because Bergie and Trishelle were both there for some of them. He's going to tell the 3 that he thinks are traitors, CT, Dan, and Parvati, that him and Janelle got it.
Yep.
And then he'll be like, oh, we'll target Bergie.
Right.
Which I don't know how he would think that, but like, I guess Bergie's an easy out. I don't know. Yeah. And then Bergie has a shield and then they'll be all shocked when Bergie comes. And then he can like know at least one of those 3 people are a traitor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It was really smart.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
That was kudos. I would have done that.
Absolutely. And I don't want to jump to the very end, but yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Exactly. That's what you're talking about. So he told CT in front of Trishelle, and he told Dan in front of Bergie.
Yeah. And
then Parvati told alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the plan was set in motion. Okay. So it was Dan versus Janelle, basically. We're getting into Dan versus Janelle because Janelle was in one room. I completely forget exactly who, but I know MJ was in there.
Yeah,
and she
Janelle,
was saying,
Kevin, MJ, and Bergie.
Okay. And Janelle was saying Dan's name, and I thought it was so funny that, what was it, last week? MJ was like gunning for Dan, but here goes MJ running in the other room to tell Dan.
Like, why does she think it's not Dan now?
Yeah. So
It's
she thought, I think she thinks Janelle's coming in way too hot, but like, I mean, they're so wrong.
And then Kevin thinks Janelle is a sloppy faithful or a traitor. I'm like, well, that doesn't narrow anything down, does it?
Yeah, like with that. And Janelle's like, why would I be sitting here in front of the, you know, the memory wall, whatever they're calling it, trying to figure this out? She's like, a traitor, they don't have to do anything. They just sit back and they don't do anything.
I'm throwing out names. We're all accusing Dan of being a traitor because he's not throwing out names. Right? And she's like, these people, they're not very good at this game.
No, yeah, she's not happy with their gameplay.
Exactly. Okay, in the other room we had MJ, Sandra, Dan, and Shrey. Right? And so MJ runs, you said.
Yeah.
Janelle's gunning for you.
Yep.
And then Dan was like, first it's Larsa, now it's me, you know? And I was like, okay, that kind of worked a little bit. MJ agrees with that. And then Dan tells Parvati we need to take out Janelle. Like, side after that, right?
Yeah.
And then that's all I have before the round table.
That's it. That's all I got too. And then we have the round table.
The
round table, and Alan turns around, grabs a little chair, and says, listen, someone's returning. I wonder if they thought it was a previous like housemate or whatever you call them.
Put it out, right?
Yeah, but no, it was Kate. Kate returned. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved seeing her back.
Who she was.
I know. Oh, Janelle was so happy. She was like, Kate. I feel so bad because you can't see them play together now.
Right, exactly. And Janelle was Dr. Will.
I know.
He's not gonna see him.
What the heck, Peacock? You could have done something.
I know.
Throw a twist in it.
And then Dan says she could be a faithful or traitor. So I'm like, okay, I guess what's your opinion on her being able to vote?
Oh, yep, I have that written down too because I wanted to ask you the same thing.
Exactly.
I didn't think that was right because she's literally coming in and has so they're all sitting there pleading their case to Kate basically because she's a vote and she just walked right in.
Oh my God. Like, I didn't think that was fair either. Like, at least say she's here to listen, but she can't vote on this one or something.
Yeah. Get her. She can be briefed in, but like that doesn't make any sense. In no reality show does somebody just come in late.
And she can ask questions and she can, figure stuff out. But like, hello, that doesn't make sense at all. Like, we all know on Big Brother, when someone comes in late, they can't vote, but you can't vote them out that first week either. And that's what makes sense. But oh well.
Oh well.
Kevin, oh my God, what a right?
He's a little. I'm not a fan of Kevin. I knew I didn't like Kevin. I'm like, who? One of our clips, I was like, who's Kevin? Exactly. Yeah, he was not happy with Kate interrupting him. I'm like,
oh my God. He's like, I said I didn't want to be interrupted. I'm like,
right.
God, I would throw punch you if I was in person right now.
Throw punch. Yeah, that was like unnecessary, Kevin. Calm down.
Anyway, so he says Janelle's a traitor because she's putting out names. And then we always think Janelle's a traitor in the morning, but then she always rallies people and it's someone else at night.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why she's a traitor.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see it. I just don't see what they're seeing.
Exactly.
But it was majority vote for a while, Dan and Janelle, when they started voting. I was like worried.
Yeah, exactly. Bergie defended Janelle.
Yes. Bergie. I love Bergie.
Yeah. And he said he thinks she's still there because the traitors like chaos. So that's why they keep her.
Right.
Right. So that was a good thing to say.
Yeah.
Janelle thinks it's Dan, CT, and Sandra.
I know. How wrong could she be? Well, she's right, but wrong.
Soon we'll set off Sandra.
Oh my gosh.
And then Sandra thinks Janelle.
Yes.
And CT's like, why are you throwing him under the bus? Kevin, and then Kevin calls out Kate for not listening.
Yes.
While John, and I'm like, hello? Like, because
Yeah.
he was responding to John. I'm like, who that? It just reminded me of every like awful alpha boss I ever had who's like,
Yeah.
we're not, you know, it's like, don't
Yeah.
you treat me like a child because
I was not happy with him.
that's not gonna happen. Like
Mm.
that. Oh, that
No,
was
not a good first impression for Kevin and Kate there.
exactly right. He thinks Dan contributes the least. And then Dan,
Yeah.
argument here. So he asked Janelle, why does she think he's a traitor, right? And she says,
Yeah.
because you don't say anything. It's like, oh, okay, because I don't say anything, I'm a traitor. She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Turn around and say, you say too much, you point out too many people, I think you're a traitor. He just says, well, now I can't trust you. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, Dan, throw it back. I'm quiet because that's what I think a faithful should be.
Yeah.
Like, well, like, I don't understand why, although there could be all this stuff that we miss. Like, I'm sure
Yeah, there could be.
All right.
Apparently Janelle and Parvati had some words during the round table, but we didn't see that. Janelle said it in an Instagram post. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Parvati was coming to Dan's defense. So
we need live feeds.
I know we do. We do. We need live feeds. I said that for Squid Game too. I was like, well, all these things we miss.
What?
I said, all these things we miss. We just need live feeds.
That's what Big Brother fans, we know we need our live feeds.
Yes, we love that.
Okay, Trishelle tells Dan he's not a good faithful. He's not sharing. And then Janelle's like, yeah, Pete's like, one name. Give us one name at least, right?
Yeah.
And then Dan's like, Janelle. He's been
blind. I know. Janelle, really?
Yep. She's led the charge. His fault for defending her. He can't trust her anymore. I'm like, okay. All right. I mean, that's an easy name to throw out, you know, because
too easy.
Exactly.
Oh, Dan.
And then we have our votes.
Yes.
So for Dan, we had Pete, John, Janelle, Trishelle, and Bergie.
Okay.
We had 5.
Yeah.
And then Janelle, we had MJ, Phaedra, Sandra. We've got Sandra's vote.
Ah, yes.
And this is when it comes in. So Sandra votes for Janelle, and she takes a sip of water.
Drink that water. You're nervous, aren't you?
No, my mouth is dry.
Okay, Sandra.
You're a traitor.
You're a fucking traitor.
You're a fucking traitor.
You're a traitor, bitch.
You're the biggest fucking traitor here, so fuck off.
You fuck off.
And Steve.
My favorite part is Janelle.
Someone said whoa and all that. I was like,
oh, it was Kate. She goes, whoa. But honestly, it was Janelle doing the whole, you're a traitor. You're a traitor, bitch.
Exactly.
Don't mess with Janelle, okay?
For anyone who thinks reality TV is scripted, we have this for you.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. I tell my boyfriend all the time, he's like, it's scripted. I'm like, it's not. Okay.
It's
listen.
not.
We just are not getting.
Yes. Those can be scripted. Edited and scripted. Yeah. They ask leading questions to get you to say stuff. Right. They quit. But no, it is not scripted.
No.
There's too many classic scenes. So we had MJ, Phaedra, Sandra, Parvati, Kevin, Dan, CT, Sheree, and Kate. So Kate's vote didn't matter. So that's good at least, because if he had voted for Dan, it wouldn't have mattered, because it's Janelle still still would have been.
I know.
At home.
Saying Pete's plan might work, because it looks like when the Traitors got together, it looks like Dan wants to go for Bergie, because he said Bergie's going to constantly write my name down.
I know. And
Bergie has the shield.
And Parvati even laid it out to him. She's like, oh, he's lying to us. He's trying to set a trap.
Yeah. Because Pete told Parvati, Pete told CT, and Pete told Dan.
And they don't know about
Parvati.
They know about each other.
Right.
And they know he's like, I'm not telling it, but I think blah, blah, blah. And so Parvati's like, he's trying to set a trap.
Exactly.
And which she knows, because that's a Survivor thing. Like, you tell you're going to vote for somebody, but you're not. And like, that's Survivor vibe. She's bringing Survivor vibe. So now you know Pete doesn't have it, but you know, oh my gosh, you don't know who does.
Yeah.
Don't vote for any of them.
Yeah.
Because you're screwed if one of them has it. Like,
that's what she's saying. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, oh my God.
I know it.
Oh.
But it does seem like it's gonna be Bergie, but they have misled us before.
They have, because Phaedra was like, I can't believe I'm writing his name down, or I'm sending or something, and I'm like, it could be something a little. Oh my God! Imagine if it was CT.
Oh no!
Like, I'm trying to think of like who else would she can't imagine.
Yeah,
you know,
because he's inside, so it could be. I
be
know.
I do. I has a few lines before we got to the Traitors thing. I had Bergie going, "You guys are trusting the Traitors," which I'm like, "Ooh, good for you, Bergie, for saying something."
Love
and
him.
then Dan said, "This is harder than his BB funeral." Like at the round table, I was like, "Whoa!" And then Kate, I was like, "How spot on." They were telling Kate about the poisoning, like how did Larsa leave, right?
Yep.
They told her someone was, and she's like, and just before that, Parvati was like, "Does anyone want wine?" And so she says, "I'm not taking any wine from Parv, who just offered." And I was like, "Oh,
too bad she wasn't there for the whole murder in plain sight."
Exactly. Oh my God.
She would have called them out.
So Pete told John, Bergie, and Kev. I'm like, who's Kerr? That's Kev. It's a B, Janine.
Kerr.
Yeah,
who is Kevin? We don't care.
So those three know that he thinks it's CT, Dan, and Parv, and he told them he had a shield, but Bergie doesn't.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Kate taking Janelle's room.
Oh,
I'm sure there's other empty rooms. What's Janelle's room like?
Typical Kate. I love her. Oh, you're taking her room? Yeah, why wouldn't I?
Oh my God. But yes, so it's making me nervous. That whole ending is making me nervous.
Yeah. And it's
I feel like you're leading us.
It might be, but I'm thinking if he does choose Bergie and Bergie comes in and it's like, oh, then they're gonna narrow it down. It's either one of those three that he told. So is Dan, if it comes down to Dan, is he gonna throw Phaedra or Parvati under the bus, or both?
Well, he can't throw Phaedra because she wasn't part of. Well, he doesn't know who he told. That's true.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. No, he could throw it. It would be Parvati would make more sense. You're right.
He would throw Parvati, and I wonder if he'd say something like, "Oh, it was weird. Parvati told me before we went to bed that you also told her." Like you could do something like that.
Yeah.
Like she told him before she went. So then that would throw her under the bus.
Right.
He's giving himself an out.
I don't know.
I don't know either. He's gonna have to throw someone under the bus.
Yeah, he is soon.
Oh,
it's coming. Did you get any kind of hints from the trailer? I know a lot of people on Twitter are sniffing things out.
I tried to freeze that table and see there. I'm like someone else in the world will do this, and I haven't found anyone who did it. I wish I found it.
Was it all? They were all there, right?
I feel like they were. Bergie was there. I know that. Yeah. I knew Bergie was there, and I think I saw Pete.
Okay. Huh.
I don't know who. I don't know.
I know.
And it could have been. No, because Janelle wasn't there. I was gonna say it could have been like.
Oh, I'm just reading. I put Dan's funeral part 2 for next week.
Right? Oh my God.
It might not be it might not go his way this time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Dan was saying, he said to somebody, I forget who, and he's like, "I'm gonna be laughing. Like, I want to see your faces if I'm the one murdered tonight. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see your faces in the morning." Yeah, he said.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't write it down. I wrote it down somewhere.
Oh my gosh, Dan.
Dan, he's ridiculous. Oh my God. I'm like, oh. It's like he's doing some Dan things, but not all the Dan things. I don't get it.
I know. It's been a while.
I did watch the postmortem. Did you watch the postmortem?
Yes, I just watched it. That was good.
It's okay. It was it's good. I think it would be amazing if they got to see who the traitors were. Wouldn't that be even better?
They don't know?
No, they didn't.
Seems like they knew in there.
No, they all had single interviews.
Oh, you're right. Maybe they don't. I thought they knew.
I think it would be better if one by one they walk in.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be better?
Yes.
But
much. At the end of the last postmortem, did you see it, Tamara, what she said? She's like, "Why do you call it postmortem? What's postmortem? After death?" And they're like, the producers are like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, great, rub it in." They get rid of all the good people.
I know. So good.
All right. Did we cover it all? That was quick.
I think we did. So what do we rate this?
Oh, this episode. They're getting better and better, Janine. So I don't even know what we rated last time, but I'm going to save a couple of numbers. Let's see. I'll probably let's rate it a 7. We'll save 3 spots for another couple episodes.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're getting so good.
What
do you think?
It is, because you're like on your edge of your seat the whole time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you going to rate it? What do you think?
I think I'm going to agree. 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they're just getting better and better. And it's so great when we watch this show and we have favorites, like Dan and Janelle, for instance, or Parvati and Sandra, like just watching them play again in such a different setting.
That's why they
should so good.
Do reality people again. Like they shouldn't have like it's nice to watch regular people play and you end up getting favorites, but it's nice to see your favorites.
This is better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you so much again for doing this with me.
No problem. I love it.